Hey, good morning. Actually, you know what am I saying? Good morning. Good evening, America, and all those around the world. The Big Show podcast is live and back at you, coming through your speakers right now. Over here to my right is, as always, good friend of mine. Give it up one time for Dwayne Ward. He is the host of Pissed Off Parent. And of course, my name is Jimmy Smith, and I host the Big Show podcast. Guys, ladies, welcome. Welcome back again. So this is the second episode that we've done in the evening time, because as you guys probably know, most of you guys were catching us at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern for a few months, and now we're doing it in the evening time. So hopefully you guys will still be able to kind of check in. We had some really good feedback last week, though, didn't we?
We did. Got a lot of good feedback.
Yeah, a lot of comments and stuff. You know, people really were kind of watching and tuning in. And guys and gals, listen, if anything, kind of catches your ear, sound off in the comment section. Dwayne and I will post it if it's funny and informative, and we'll ignore it if you guys talk trash.
Or not. Sometimes the trash talking, have a bit of fun with it.
We do have a little fun with trash talking. Everyone has their opinions, though. But for the most part, I think we are almost always on the same page. We try to be a sounding board for those out there who don't have a voice for themselves. And, I think everyone kind of understands that Dwayne and I are firm, friendly, and fair. And, we call out the equal BS from the men's side and the BS from the women's side, because at the end of the day, all we want, me and my buddy here, we just want you guys to be happy. We just want you guys to have a fulfilled life while we're on this planet. And, we want to help you guys in any way that we can. As you know, Dwayne, a lot of my, topics for the show, they come from my personal experience, and they come from times where I've spoken to men or spoken to women, times where I've done counseling sessions, time in the past where I've done polling or read polls and things like that.
Right.
And this is no exception. This week, we're going to do a show on things that men want most from their partners. And for those of you who are reoccurring listeners of the Big Show podcast, over the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, you probably have noticed me talking a little bit about how guys have to learn women in order to attract women.
Right.
And women don't really have to understand or know men in order to attract men. But women do have to understand men in order to keep the men. See, that's the whole thing, right? Right. Women can just go online and post a dating profile and get unlimited amount of hits and swipes and whatever you call them. But the average man don't get nearly as much as the average female. So whenever I say that women don't have to really learn men to attract them, that's why. Because in this online social media, women are getting more attention than they ever have in the history of humanity. And, one of the reasons that I talk about, I give advice to women to learn men is not because I'm all like pro men and anti woman. No. It's because the common reoccurrence, the common complaint out there is that women are not always very happy in their relationships, and the two kind of butt heads from time to time. And I think we can all agree that if everyone learned how to communicate just a little bit better, or if we all learn the opposite sex and how we move and how we act just a little bit better, we probably have longer lasting relationships that are more meaningful. Yeah. And, one of the things, Dwayne, that a lot of people get wrong, there's a lot of good communicators out there, right? But those communicators still have the same challenges that everyone else has in their relationships that are not as good of communicators as they are. Right. So it poses the question, like, why? Like, if you're a good communicator to your teams at work or to, whatever group you're involved in, why sometimes are we so poor at communication with our significant other? The answer to that question, guys, is simple. Because we might be communicating in a way that makes sense to us, but what we have to do is we have to communicate in a way to where the other person is retaining the information.
Right.
See, that's a difference. There's a difference there, okay? I talk in ways that I would understand. So if there was a twin of Jimmy and we talk to each other, I completely understand what page this guy's on. But it's not I'm not talking to my twin here, right? I'm talking to women. I'm talking to other guys. And so I have to communicate in a way that actually makes sense for them. They have to be able, the ability to retain communication is honestly more important than the ability to speak or, be proficient in communication. So understanding your partner goes a long way to understanding how they communicate and how they receive words and all things like that. When I talk to guys, Dwayne, a lot of times, and as you know, I've counseled and helped, I don't know, hundreds over the
Thousands.
10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
There's been a common theme, and the common theme is happy life or happy wife, happy life, give her what she wants. I just want peace in the house and things like that. And whenever I have her and I have him and I'm kind of going back and forth and I'm talking and trying to figure out how these people move and what their love languages are and how they communicate and receive that communication, sometimes it's really surprising how much he knows about her.
Yeah.
And how little she knows about her man.
Yeah.
And so what I decided to do today is I wanted to put together some of the things that men oftentimes say to me and other polling what they actually want from their partner. So ladies, if you guys, look, building a relationship and nurturing it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. We all know that. And communicating your thoughts with your partner is an integral part of that communication. And like I mentioned, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of friends and patients over the year. I've helped them better their physical and mental health over the years. And I've asked a question to my male clients that so many men never get asked by their woman. And that question that I ask my male clients is, what are the things that you crave that your partner doesn't give you? It's such a simple and seemingly easy question to ask, yet so many men will admit to me that even after many years of being with their woman, she's never even asked him what he wants from her.
Yeah.
These guys, they know what she wants or expects from him, but these guys are saying, hey, she didn't even know what I even want, Jimmy. And it's heartbreaking. He knows everything that she wants him to do for her. So I sat down this week and I kind of jotted down the top things that men have told me that they wanted from their partner. And ladies, if you're listening, I'm going to give you a glimpse into the minds of men. Now, a lot of times, ladies, when they go for advice from other ladies. And I have oftentimes said this, that if you truly want honest feedback and good, honest advice, go to men for the advice. Now, be careful on the type, on what man, okay? I'm not talking about men who want to be in bed with you.
Right.
Don't go to those guys. I'm referring to men like maybe your father or your brother or your cousins. Or if you have a guy friend that you know for sure, if there's one that exists out there that doesn't want to bed you, that has no dog in that fight, that has no motives to lie to you, ask those guys. Ask those guys what their opinion are of you are or what they think you should do in this situation, and they'll tell you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys, you ladies, a glimpse into the minds of men. These are feedback that's not necessarily from me, although I agree with most of them. This is feedback that are coming from men who are in current relationships or have been, but also a lot of married men. So let's go through it. One of the things that men have said that they want most from their partner is her undivided attention.
Yeah,
it's really, and that's it right there. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
You see, Dwayne nailed it, right? One of the guys actually said, usually when we talk, she gets her face down in her phone or begins to do something else. Yeah. So you just get a, But whenever she wants to get her point across, I usually look her in the eyes and comprehend what she is saying. Maybe It's not undivided attention, more like a respect thing. So ladies, have you heard Dwayne and I say the respect thing before? What men want more?
Huge.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's why, getting cross or raising your voice or getting crass with your man doesn't always, nagging doesn't always go over very well because men will receive it as disrespect. And respect is one thing that men really hold true. Okay. If, ladies, at the end of the day, it's a respect thing. It really is.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said men want most, ladies? It's respect. Okay. A lot of men don't say much. So when your man does say something, when your man finally talks, try and pay attention to what he's saying.
Right.
Give him the respect of looking at him and not your phone. Can you ladies do that? Of course you guys can. And guys, if your woman doesn't pick her head up from her phone when you talk and it's something important, in the past, when it's happened to me, I'll go sit next to her and uncomfortably stare at her until she breaks focus and looks at me. Then I'll say something like, I just need your attention real quick. This is really important. I need you to remember it. And then she'll realize that she's on her phone, and then she'll go, oh, I'm so sorry. So I'm not rude about it. I'm not a jerk about it, right? But I just make sure that I get her undivided attention and let her know that this is important, and I really need her to remember what I'm going to say to her. So words, of course, matter, right? But words matter a lot to men. The tone matters a lot to women, from what I've learned. So oftentimes you'll hear women say, well, it's not what you said, it's how you said it, because they're all up in their feels, and that's fine. We have to learn how they move. Another tactic, if you're talking to your woman and she's on the phone, or you don't have her undivided attention, another tactic that I'll use when I'm talking to my girl, or when my girl goes for the phone, is I'll just stop talking immediately. There'll be silence, right? Huh. And if she asks me to continue, I'll say, no, it's okay. I'll wait till you're done. And it respects her need to sometimes do something urgent, because she might actually need to do something important. But also respecting myself that what I'm saying is important. Does it make sense? So I'll just stop talking, and then she'll be like, no, go ahead. I said, no, it's okay. I'll wait. I'll wait till you're done. Because sometimes she'll go, oh, thanks, hon. It'll just take a second. I'll be cool, because maybe it really is important. I don't know. But if it's not important and she's on her phone, she'll realize that that you're not talking anymore. And what it does is you are still respecting yourself, because what you're saying really is important enough to have the undivided attention of the other person. So guys, try those.
Yeah, I this is interesting, because I take a play out of the woman's playbook when my wife's not listening to me. I do a strip tease in front of her. I'll provocatively dance around and stuff like that, and that immediately I have her undivided attention, for good or bad. I mean, the people in the store get upset, but that's their problem. So, okay, so what you're saying though, I mean, men, respect yourself. If your girl, your wife, woman, isn't, if you have something important to say and they're ignoring you or not giving you their undivided attention, just either walk away or strip tease, or whatever works in your relationship, until she's ready, and hopefully she'll learn, to come around. That's what it sounds like. Okay.
I think undivided attention is fair for men to ask. I think everyone would probably want someone's undivided attention. I was surprised at the amount of men who actually said undivided attention. And on this poll that I was reading, you can get upvotes or downvotes, and there was thousands of upvotes on this
topic
whenever he had mentioned it. Another one that got a lot of traction on it is, and honestly, when I really thought about it, it's really not surprising. And it's not going to be surprising to Dwayne, because before we kind of went on live on air, Dwayne actually guessed it, and that is physical affection, or simple stuff like cuddling, any sort of physical affection. Guys, I know cuddling is not a word that a lot of guys are going to want to verbalize, right? Yeah. But physical, it sounds a little weak, and you're not going to talk to tell that to your guy friends. Going to go home
last night.
Going to go home with Marcy and cuddle her on the couch with Marcy tonight. Oh, are you a sweetheart? That's so nice, Bob. So I get it, but physical affection is really, really important for any relationship. And those of us who have been in relationships past 5 years, 10 years, no one knows that more than you guys know it. as a matter of fact, it's been the detriment of many relationships out there. I mean, I don't know how many times I've sat across from both of them, and they've said, Jimmy, I mean, I haven't touched that woman in years.
Yeah, John Travolta died because he wanted to get. He was the bubble boy. He wanted to get out of the bubble so bad that he died just to get a personal touch and that physical touching with somebody else. I mean,
yes.
If John Travolta says it, we gotta,
It's true. If John Travolta says it.
Yeah.
I probably should go back and look at all the things John Travolta's probably said, because I probably shouldn't say that's true. He probably said some effed up stuff. I don't even know. But, things like steamy makeout sessions, a night together on the couch, celebrating special moments, like an evening in bed together. All these can be ways to bring the relationship together more. Plus, there are actual scientific studies that prove that cuddling and affection with a loved one can benefit both of your guys' health. Yeah. I know that non-sexual physical affection is typically desired by the woman, right? But I've talked with so many men that are downright deprived of any type of physical affection by their partner. There was one guy that actually said, I just want hugs. I'm a dude and my wife doesn't even want to hold me, hug me, etc. I just want my wife to want me again.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and you could feel the pain in the guy's, you could see it in his face. You could feel the pain in his tonality when he was talking to me about that.
First marriage.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just tough, I mean, no one wants to feel unwanted. And I'll be honest here. I mean, if you're a woman and you let your relationship get to the point where the man is complaining about no affection, you should be reevaluating your duty and role in the relationship. I mean, ladies, how would you like it if your man no longer made you feel safe physically and mentally? Would you live in anxiety constantly? Yes, you would. So it's important for a man to make sure that his woman and his family feel safe. That's what men do. We make sure you feel safe. Well, it's equally as important for you to make your man feel loved, and your family, of course. Yeah. I think a lot of you can kind of grasp that, right?
Well, most guys put of the 5 love languages, if you follow that, that book, that teaching, most guys put physical touch as number 1, their primary thing, and it's not just sex. It's the hugs, the butt smacks, the holding, the touching hands, having some kind of physical touch, and like guys are physical. That's the way we are. And
to Dwayne's point, I mean, we're not talking about, sexual. We're talking about the non-sexual attention, the things that lead up to the better moments. But I mean, you can't just, have you guys ever been in a relationship where you kind of skip the foreplay and you go right to sex? After a while, it just seems transactional. There has to be connection there. I've oftentimes said that in the beginning, let's call it the first year or two, the honeymoon phase, if you will, the relationship, I'm referring to the physical part of it, the relationship runs really hot off of the vanity of the newness. You're exploring her, she's exploring you, vice versa. But connection and the vanity of the newness has an adverse effect. It's like a seesaw, right? In the beginning, it's high off of vanity, low off of connection. After about a year or two, it starts to be a whole lot less about the newness of her and more about the connection with her. I mean, let's be honest. After so many love-making sessions, every birthmark, every mole, every blemish on that man or woman. So it's really the connection that keeps that fire burning for many, many years. And the non-sexual affection that you give her and she gives you will be the kindling that is required to keep the sexual relationship going.
Right.
So, if you're a female, if you're a wife, if you want to be a wife, if you just want to be a good wife or a good girlfriend, whatever it is, don't deprive him of that, and I know it's really hard to do because, ladies, many of you are out there working full-time jobs, plus the kids, plus taking care of the house. I get it. But don't put your relationship with your man second or third or fourth. It's got to be up there at first, because honestly, that's the foundation of your family. I mean, the family falls apart when mom and dad start to split up.
Right. Well, think about it a little differently. I mean, okay, you got the 5 love languages going down that path. So if for whatever reason, ladies are like, I don't understand. Imagine if say your love language was words of affirmation or acts of kindness or the other ones that are there. Pick yours. And what if suddenly he stopped doing those things?
Right.
Within a day or two, you'd be like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I can hang out here.
And I use that same kind of logic, Dwayne, when I talk to women about being too masculine, not in your feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Now more than ever, women are out there. They're full of anxiety. They're full of, stress. They're expected to be the man and the woman.
Self-induced. Yeah,
it is self-induced. And so, they're out there, getting all off center. They're raising their voice. They're just masculine, right?
Right.
And I'll talk to them about being feminine. And what they'll always say is, well, Jimmy, when I find the right man that's man enough to lead me or handle me, then I'll fall back into my feminine. I go, hold on, young lady. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. You see, you're on an audition.
Right.
You don't get to say when he puts a ring on it, I'll act like a wife. You have to be moving like a wife before you get the ring. And what I'll say is, what if men did the same thing that you guys did to us? For instance, what if you had a manly man? He was everything you've wanted, everything you've dreamed of. But just once a week, 1 out of 7 days, he'd like to be a little feminine. Maybe he wants to wear a dress. Maybe he wants to put on lipstick. Maybe he wants to act like one of the girls. Just a little bit feminine. Yeah. Would you look at him differently? Of course you would. Right. Of course, ladies, of course you would. You would never accept a man. You would never allow him to call himself a man if he was acting feminine every once in a while. But then what if he turned right around and said, well, as soon as we get married, I'll be a good husband. I won't act feminine anymore. I'll be all masculine. So you see how absurd that sounds when I change it around? That's what it sounds to us. That's what it sounds like to us. So just kind of giving you guys a little bit of advice. Let's go to the comments section. Let's throw some shots out here. Well, look who is there.
Oh my God,
Eric Carroll. Good afternoon, sir. As always, Father X, welcome back to the show. And a friend of the show, of course, Clover. Clover's back. Father X always has good knowledge. Here's something he says. He goes, what do I want from my partner? I want a woman who wants me for my money, but also who's really bad at math.
Love the thinking.
Yep. Amanda, welcome. Hey, she updated her profile picture. Amanda, is that you? Is that you? That's a great picture. Okay, we got a compliment on your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear another funny one, but I had a high protein breakfast lunch this morning, and unfortunately, I couldn't fit my fat ass into it. So maybe next week we'll see how it goes.
Dwayne is becoming increasingly popular with his graphic T-shirts.
I know.
I mean, he is becoming increasingly bad. Yeah, I mean, the pressure's a little bit on him. Now when going to the mall now just feels a little different because of the pressure that Dwayne's under right now. So, I mean, I can just go to Men's Warehouse and I'm ready for the show. He's got to go and he's really got to put some thought into it.
I got to organize and
Archie Bunker. What show was that?
All in the Family.
All in the Family. Gosh.
Oh yeah.
Clover, what kind of knowledge are you dropping right now? Undivided attention requires one-on-one dating time, whether this is at home or out. Phones off, TV and all their other distractions off, 100%. There should be a regular weekly dating must be 100%. I mean, Clover is always dropping good knowledge here on the Big Show podcast. Poor Isaac, he just wants a friend. That's all.
They say he's just a friend.
He just needs one. Please, please, anyone. Just help him. Be his friend. And Jeff, hey, Jeff, welcome back, sir. This is exactly right. I know of no man who wants a woman who tries to out-masculine a man. Well said.
Yeah.
So, that's a reoccurring thing with guys. They really talked a lot about the physical, attraction. I'm sorry, physical, affection, I should say, from or lack thereof of their woman. Another thing, ladies, and I want you. This one's going to be one that a lot of men they probably won't admit. That's my guess.
Okay.
Because if they admit it, it could be seen as a sign of weakness. But let me reassure, ladies, I'm going to give you a golden nugget right now. A lot of men want reassurance. Men want the reassurance that they're doing a good job as a husband, as a father. Ladies, did you know that most men only get reassurance that he is not doing a good job?
Yeah.
That's the only reassurance that a lot of these guys listening to the show only gets, that he's a screw up, that he's not doing something right, that he needs to be better. So ask yourself, ladies, when was the last time you told your man that he's doing a great job as a father or as a husband? When was the last time you let him know that his ability to maintain control and discipline in the household was appreciated? You've got structure. Your kids are safe. They don't run out in the street. They know to look both ways. I mean, that man has put order, discipline, and structure, and he does that to keep the family safe. Honest question, when's the last time you looked him in the eye and say, look, I just want to let you know that I don't always agree with some of the things you do, but you've done a really good job as a father. I'm very proud of you, and I love you. And you're a great husband as well. And I've seen you stay the course. And even though the kids give pushback, even though I might not be the most pleasant, you stay the course. You never waver. You are the rock this family has needed. Thank you for all you do. Ladies, I mean,
I got to brag. My wife does that. Took me 3 tries, but this my wife does that actually as recently as today. She thanks me for roof over the head. She thanks me for protecting the family, taking care of the kids. And she doesn't agree with them. She understands everyone has their role in the family, and she understands what my role is. She may not like it all the time, but she understands my role. And over time, she has like, oh wow, this guy, he knows a thing or two about a thing or two. And a big one just happened, and we don't need to probably get into the details, although we can. But she's now teaching her daughter, teaching the younger generation, like, hey, when you and your boyfriend are, this, that, and the other, this, she's teaching her how to, what to look for in a good mate, and how to handle him. And I don't say it in a bad way or a pejorative way, but how to, when he does this or when this scenario happens, you as the woman should handle it this way. Right. And it's going to be a win for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear, because we all, myself included, we complain about the where the world is, where the country is, where our state is, where our neighborhood is, and we want things to change. We always talk about how things are moving in the wrong direction, and there's a lot of truth to it. I'm not going to say there's not, but how do we make change? Well, we do it through that, right?
Yeah, one-on-one.
We do it through there. I mean, Dwayne and
I'm hoping the ladies and the guys, but I hope everyone is like taking this information in and going, I'm going to teach my kids this. If you've made mistakes, which everyone has, you then teach in the right way, and it's a lifelong lesson, but you teach your kids the rights and the wrongs and how to, work in relationships and what to look for. A little bit more information on this. The boy, her boyfriend's, not my wife's boyfriend, daughter's boyfriend, the car broke down. And what she was doing, though, as I said, make sure you're watching how he handles stress and problems, because that's going to give you an eye into his soul and figure out, is that who you want to be with? And then also let him be the man and handle that stress, because that's what he's designed to do. Don't call everybody up. Don't knock him out of the way and try to fix it. Don't whatever. You're one seeing what kind of a man he is, and you got to understand his role and your role. And I gotta say, it worked out well yesterday, because all those things happened. She got to get a front row seat into what she can expect out of her boyfriend in the future, as far as marriage material and the long-term relationship, the kind of person he's going to be around her when stress hits. That's learning lessons. The only bad part, I say bad, I laugh about it, is my wife reminded the daughter exactly what the boyfriend, who he seems like more and more every day. And she's like, oh God, no, he is not like me. And it's my bonus daughter. And we've had our moments over the years. I'll just leave it at that. And I'm sure the phrase, I will never be around a man like Dwayne ever again or ever, and all that. And look who she's pairing up with. But again, as a guy, as a husband, the bonus father, and the male influence and all that stuff, that's the ultimate thank you to me, is to see those lessons learned. And because again, guys, we think chess. We're chess players.
That's right.
I'm like, I don't care if my kid hates my guts right now. I don't care if you hate my guts for 10 years. I'm hoping in 40 years when I'm pushing daisies, you've learned those lessons and you're having a successful life. That's, as a man, that is, and I hope the guys agree. I mean, I guess comment in the comments if you don't agree with that. That's a guy's job. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how we play chess. Anyway, sorry.
Our job is not to create a new friend. Our job is to create, individuals who are prepared to get out there in the world and contribute to society. So I get it. As far as like reassurance, men don't get a whole lot of reassurance unless it's negative. For those of you who do not know, Dwayne has been married twice before, and he's on his third marriage. And so Dwayne would know, better than anyone, I think. Dwayne, give us some honest feedback. Like the first two women that you were married to, they did not give you the reassurance that you were hoping for. Brandy, that's Dwayne's current wife. She does. How does that make you feel as a man?
I would have died for all three of them. But this one, that sounds weird. This one, but with Brandy, she gives me that assurance every day. She's a partner, an equal partner in this relationship. She knows, when to, she's the other half of me, meaning she knows that. Today I celebrated 9 years of owning the home I'm in after my first and second divorce. And I looked at the house, and my wife made it a home. She complimented everything on the 50% I could not give in the house to certain structures and certain of course making it look pretty and all that I just no hope in the world to do. And she did that, but she also knows when to back, like, okay, he's the man, he's taking care of this. He's the man taking care of it. I'm shutting up and backing away. And that actually was funny. That's what happened yesterday with the boyfriend and the bonus daughter when they were their car had broke down and they were having to fix it. And the daughter wanted to like just jump in and whatever. And Brandy's like, no, you need to let him do this. Yeah. And back away. Don't call people. Don't do this. Don't do that. Let him be the man. And but anyway, having my wife reassure me means everything in the world. Now I'll tell you, the first 1,000 times she did that to me, well, the first 100, I couldn't even begin to fathom it. After like 900 more times, it's awkward. It still is awkward to this day, giving just some honest feedback. But I appreciate deep down. On my own, I appreciate knowing that my wife appreciates and reassures me that, I'm on the right path. That is, it's a respect thing, which is like the ultimate thing for a guy is, because we don't have, I can't, hey, Jimmy, how do you think I'm doing with this?
Right.
You're not going to get that but when you have your spouse, your other half telling you, yeah, you're knocking this thing out of the park, you're doing it.
Yeah. A small gesture definitely goes a long ways. Ladies, understand that men go through so much BS on a daily basis, and your words of reassurance is sometimes the only thing that keeps that man going. So be sure to let him know when he does things right, because a lot of women out there only give their man feedback when he does something wrong. Don't be that person, okay? Another thing that men are looking for in their partner is to feel desired. To feel desired. One guy said, I just want to feel desired. I'm always the one initiating things in the bedroom, and it makes me feel like garbage sometimes, honestly. That's what one man said. So ladies, if if it makes you, how it makes you feel when your man tells you that you're sexy, or when you get all dressed up and you can see how turned on he is by how you look.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same for us as well. You know, men want to feel attractive also. I know a lot of women out there work full time, just like the men do. I know. And I'm sure he respects why you don't do it often. Look, you're both super tired after a long week of work. So, guys, 100%, they respect that out of you because he's tired too. He gets it. But it doesn't change the fact that men want her to be the one to jump his bones and start things more often.
I didn't hear that. Jimmy, could you say that again? Could you speak into the microphone?
I can. Even though you guys you both work full-time jobs and you guys are super tired sometimes, 100%. Men get it. They're tired too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that from time to time, your man just wants you to jump his bones as well. He doesn't always want to be the one initiating it. For you to initiate it and you to make him feel like he's manly and muscular and masculine goes a long ways. Just like you want to be desired, you have to understand that men feel the same way. So, and because it makes him feel like he's the only one putting effort into sex when you don't make him feel desired.
Well, and society has taught us that men always want, all we want is sex, and blah, blah, you know, all that nonsense. That's all we. Well, it's not really that much nonsense, but you know, if he's always initiating, it's almost like it's a she has to do it. It's her duty. It's whatever, and it becomes like it taints it in a bad way. And yeah, guys want to they want to be sitting there watching TV or whatever, and have her jump his bones, leave him with the funny smile and the John Wayne swagger out the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, what else can be said about that?
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, these are definitely serious things. And I got one more serious thing for you, ladies. You want to know else? You want to know what else men desire from you? Brownies and cookies. Yeah, that's it.
Make brownies every day.
Ladies, some of you make the most amazing brownies. And because everyone loves them, I know you're probably sick of making them. But can you please just bake him some damn brownies from time to time? Can you do that for him, please? Come on. Bonus points for making him brownies and afterwards jumping his bones. Bonus points for that.
Or a while. Let's just get crazy.
Guys, who's got your back, guys?
Yeah.
I do.
Big show.
The big show's got your back. One thing men want from time to time, one thing that men have said they desire is compassion. Some compassion. Ladies, remember that from an early age, men are told to suppress their feelings. Suck it up, rub some dirt on it, and get right back in the fight. Men are told to do that all the time. And by the time these boys grow into men and you begin to interact with them, they're to the point where most men just feel like they can't open up about anything once they become an adult. They don't feel comfortable enough to tell anyone how they feel. The stress from their kids, the stress from their jobs, how they're going through depression, or tell you how close they are to snapping or having a nervous breakdown. Guys feel those things too. Mm-hmm. Men go through this cycle of feeling like shit, ignoring it, trying to better themselves, push through another day, shitty feelings come back, no one to talk to, feeling inadequate, the demands from life, feeling like giving up again, no help from anyone, rinse and repeat. A lot of guys who are listening to this, a lot of guys out there, right? That right there, doesn't that sound a little awful to some of these women? To these men listening, that's just Tuesday. We call that Tuesday. Many men are afraid to tell you, ladies, because they don't want to lose frame with you.
That they use it against you.
They'll use it. Some ladies will use it against their. Oh boy, let me tell you something. Yeah,
they're going in a whole new direction.
Yeah, Dwayne, you're about to spin me out. So, every man and woman has the vault. Okay, the vault, and you know secrets about her, and she knows secrets about you, and you guys put it in the vault, and only you two know the combination to that vault. Mm-hmm. If he opens up and you throw that back in his face, you know you're never going to get anything from him again. You would do the same thing.
And they'll complain that you don't open up to them. It's like, I did, and you used it against me.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well just sign a death warrant on your relationship.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the end. It really is. You know, guys just don't want you ladies to see that we are human, flawed, and broken. And you want to know what, ladies? We're human, and we're flawed, and we're broken.
Yeah.
That's the truth. But we don't get to go through a day on this planet being broken and feeling bad about it, feeling sorry for ourselves. The world doesn't give men a day off from having to, face the challenges that get thrown our way. We are always expected to be on our purpose. We're always expected to provide. We're always expected to be giving the world something that we can offer. We don't ever get to just kick our feet up and not give the world something to offer. And that's why when we get home from work, that's why we want peace. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are taught, not to show emotion. No matter what happens, we are the rock of the family. That's what we're taught from an early age. I don't know about your mortgage, but my mortgage doesn't have a thing that says I had a bad day. Don't worry about paying it this month.
Right.
Maybe yours does. Mine never did.
Mine never seemed to have that clause in it either.
Yeah.
And to Dwayne's earlier point about her using that against him, there are men who they've seen other men open up to their girl, and that girl loses respect for him and eventually leaves him. That's why they're afraid to open up, because they don't want to lose frame. They don't want to lose respect in the eyes of their woman. And I know what some of the women who are listening to this are saying right now, because I hear it whenever I talk about this. I hear it from you in person. You guys are going, no, that's not true. I want him to open up. I want him to tell me, I don't mean any disrespect, but that's not true, because I've seen so many women get what they say they want, and then they look at that man differently. I want my man to cry. If he wants to cry, I'm a shoulder for him to cry on. Then he cries, and you go, I don't know if this guy's going to be man enough to protect me and my kids. And you start to lose respects, and men know that. We've seen other men in his relationship go through that, and the relationship falls apart because she starts to lose respect. And as soon as a woman loses respect for her man, the relationship starts to dwindle. That's our life. Yeah. Ladies, that is our life. We go through this shit. We feel bad about ourselves. We wonder how we're going to push through another day. I wonder how many times, ladies, that something has happened and you went to your man and said, I don't know how we're going to get through this. And he sits there in silence, and he just says simply, I'll figure it out. Yeah. How many times, ladies, have you heard your man just say, I'll figure it out. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
That man, ladies, let me share something with you. He has no idea how he's going to fix this.
Yeah.
All he knows is that he can't not fix it.
Can't fail.
He can't fail. He must succeed. So he will reassure you, because there is no other alternative or option other than getting through this. I just wish that you guys could understand that even though we pretend we're superhuman, that we still are broken and flawed individuals. None of us are anything special. Ain't nobody special on this show in the comment section. We're not special. We are one of 7 billion people on this planet, and we're all perfectly flawed. I mean, that is our life as men. So if you're blessed enough for your man to open up and tell you his pain points, show some compassion, inspire that man to keep pushing. Tell him that you appreciate him for all that he does, and that you respect him for the man that he is.
Give him reasons to open up and trust you, and maybe even almost a show on that alone. I mean, I've been happily married now for a number of years. Again, third try. My breakdowns occurred by myself still. I mean, it's, the stuff that I've went through and that still impact me to this day. I'm in I would say the best relationship I've ever been in my entire life, but with someone that does support me, that does, that hits, checks all the boxes and everything for me. I still, it's just a weird thing to even begin to have not a breakdown, but and I can't even talk about it. It's not a breakdown. It's a what. But share my fears and concerns and the things that every guy goes through. How are you going to make the mortgage this month? How are you going to retire? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? The kids are going the wrong path. How are you going to fix that? We, our answer is we'll take care of it. We'll figure out a way to do it. Work harder, do this, do that. And we have our breakdowns away from everybody else. We have a little cry session. We dry it off. We get back in the game.
Oh yeah. Ladies, did you know that most men in this world has never heard those words from their women? Did you know that most men, that's all they want to hear.
Yeah.
That's all we want to hear is that inspiration that you guys can give us. That is so, so powerful. Whenever I've trained you guys in the past on past shows, remember what I said men want: beauty, firm, fit, inspirational type of women, feminine women. And I've often said inspiration. This is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Whenever I said in the past, this is the list of things that guys want, I included inspiration months and months ago when we were talking about this, because this is the situations that your inspiration, the things that you do so well as women, this is where it plugs right in. Mm-hmm. There was one guy who described a time that he opened up to his wife. And this is what he said. He said, "The other day I was stressed from work. I began to tell her what I was going through, and she just cut me off and said, 'That's just work, so deal with it.'" He said it was so empty. I get that she's trying to buck me up and handle it like adult, but things at work have gone too far, and she's talking to me like a parent to a teen, not a wife to her husband. I responded to her with, "Honey, you're not helping." And I went to the bedroom and just cried a little bit, just bottled it up with everything else. Dwayne just said it 2 seconds ago. Ladies, have you ever seen your man cry? I bet most of you have not. Some of you, but I bet most of you have not. And I'm not talking about the birth of your baby, and I'm not talking about a death of a loved one. I'm referring to crying from the insurmountable stress that life gives us sometimes. Have you ever heard your man cry for that reason?
Excluding Optimus Prime.
Dwayne.
I got, because I'm going to hear about this after the show. You cry like a little baby when you talk about Optimus Prime dying.
Oh my God.
Well, that's the death one. That's in the
I'm probably going to just edit that part out so that way you don't lose frame.
Right. Yeah.
Well, my point of bringing it up, ladies, is that do you really think that just because you haven't seen him cry that he doesn't? That's where I was going with it. And I bet many of you would feel awful to know how many men sit alone and cry where no one can hear him. Then they wipe their tears. They walk back into the room and fake a smile so that way no one is any the wiser to what he's going through.
Yep.
There are men listening right now who went, yeah, because they know. Yeah. Because we're not going to likely cry in front of you. There has been so many times, though, that your man has gone into the other room where no one can hear him, no one can see him, and he's cried because he's not sure if he can push to another day, and he realizes that he has to push to another day because he has dependence. So he wipes his tears from his face. He composes himself in the mirror, and then he opens a door and he puts on a fake smile so that way no one knows what he was doing in there. That has happened, ladies, more than you will ever imagine. If you've never seen him cry, do not think for a second that he does not. He just doesn't do it in front of other people. So I want you to be his inspiration. I want you to show compassion and be the one that he can go to when life feels too insurmountable. Can you do that for him? Ladies, can you do that for him? You're going to get probably one chance at this. And to Dwayne's point, if you screw it up the way that this story that this guy was talking about his wife, how she kind of screwed it up, you may not get another chance because guys don't play that game. You make him feel like he's a little baby or he is, a child or whatever. No, he won't. He'll make sure that you never see anything but tough Mr. whatever his name is. So
it reminds me of, and again, for the ladies, just so when I was listening to the words, but listen to what the meaning behind the words. I'm 51, and I remember this is shortly after I got married the first time, so I was 22-ish, and I remember it to this day. Having my wife not listen or not care what was going on. We were out doing a drive, and I said, "Hey." I was in a very high stress job. They were doing cuts and firings and everything. And my wife refused to work. My first wife refused to work. So she was, stay at home, no kids, no nothing. Yeah, that was that one. And I remember I decided to do some honesty. And I said, I don't know what's going to happen at my job. I might get fired. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was I lived in St. Charles, Missouri at the time. It was right as I was pulling onto First Capitol. And again, this is the part where you need to listen to not what I'm saying, but the other parts of it. And she looked over at me and she said, if you lose your job, I'll divorce you. I remember that 30 years later. I remember exactly when it was said, how it was said, and where it was said.
Yeah.
When you care, when a man cares about you, he's all in. And your words have a lot of meaning. I mean, you need to choose them very carefully. If you fly off the handle in your arguments and you get crazy and say whatever you're going to say and you didn't mean it, the right guy, I would say, I think most guys are like me in that sense, at least early on. When that happens, you are forever damaging that person, and they never fully recover. And again, and that's true because here I am 51, 2 more marriages later, and it's hard. I open up an amount, but I still can't open up completely to the level that, a lot of women say they want, that full tear crying and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Next to impossible. But again, it's one of those, the story shouldn't be, he was told he was, no. 30 years later, I remember everything about it. And that's how deep into my soul it hit me.
Yeah. It put an impression on your heart. And that leads right into the next topic of things that men desire from their partners. And that is men desire to feel more than just a paycheck.
Oh God. Oh, are you like reading my diary? Good God.
Hey man. And Dwayne and I did not share notes. I mean, he led right into it.
Wow.
To feel like I'm more than just a paycheck. That is probably one of the top 3 things that guys really want to feel from you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes guys feel like the only reason to exist is to provide money. No physical affection of any kind. It's been years since some of you guys have had the physical affection from your wives.
It's my first
years that you guys have been in bed with each other on an intimate level. It's almost like she has no interest in some of you guys at all. Emotional support would be nice to have as well. Some guys say that, she'll pile all her problems onto me, but I have to deal with my own without bothering her because whatever I'm going through, her problems are so much worse. That's the quote that one of the guys say.
I don't know which lip gloss to wear today. I'm trying not to eat Alpo when I retire. If I, oh God forbid we, are able to retire, I'm trying not to eat Alpo, and she's worried about lip gloss. Not current wife, just to lay that out there. But
yeah. And I'll be honest. Sometimes whenever I hear men talk about their situations and read their comments, I really wonder if women even want men or just want their stuff. Sometimes I wonder. Now, not all women, of course. There are certainly the good ones out there, but the majority of them out there. I mean, you listen to these guys talk, and I'll get the conversation going, and these guys will feel, for lack of better words, safe enough to open up, and other guys will yeah, that's right, and then they'll get going. You can feel the energy in the room, and the guys will just start opening up, and I cannot believe that there's so many men out there in sexless marriages. There's so many men out there who don't get any compassion, that feel like they're like the only thing that's stopping her from being happy is him.
Yeah. This is unscripted because so many, like, you provide everything, and that becomes the baseline for them. Like, you pay all the bills, you do everything for them, and then that becomes the bare minimum baseline for them to like, well, what else have you done for me?
Right.
And you're like, what the hell?
Guys want to feel like they're more than just a paycheck. Whoever you are, you deserve to feel that way. You deserve that, men. You deserve to feel like you're more valuable than just what you can provide for your family or to her. Yep. Relationships can and do exist where both partners have all their needs met and are truly happy. I want to make no mistake, there are relationships out there that do exist, that both parties are happy and they work in unison. You know, even after many, many years together, they're still so madly in love. So don't give up hope that you can have that, guys. If you guys are going through it right now, if you're single and you're looking back on some pains that you've had, ladies, if you look back on some of the challenges, and I don't want you guys to be jaded to where you go, forget men, they're all just worthless. Forget women, you know, there's no good ones out there. There are good ones out there. And there are people out there who are absolutely happy. And I think that every one of you deserve to be happy. Another thing that guys want, Dwayne, is calmness. Calmness. This guy had said that his wife has such a high stress personality and a hair trigger. She absolutely loses it in any situation that's even the slightest, even that slightly resembles a minor emergency. She just flies off the handle, he says. No. Ladies, remember that men are attracted to femininity, and femininity is soft. It's loving. It's giving. It's inspirational. It's soothing. And yes, it's calm. We all have enough stress in our lives. We don't need you high strung and thinking everything is a catastrophe.
Yeah.
So ladies, bring your soft, soothing calmness and let these men live in their home with peace. Everything can't be a major catastrophe.
Yeah, no drama. No drama llamas is what I like.
No drama llamas, man. One thing that I'll speak for myself, this next one is something that I have to have in my partner. And guys have said this as well. Not a whole lot of guys, but I think enough guys where I put it on the paper here. They want intellectual and spiritual conversations with their partner. I know Dwayne's like that. I know he's like that.
God, yes.
You know, I've dated some beautiful women and they could not put together a puzzle that was meant for a 6-year-old without help. And, they look great hanging on my arm, but I mean, it just couldn't last because I want to have these conversations where we start to dig deep and wonder why things are the way they are. Yeah. You know, I think it's safe to say that we all want to have some intelligent conversations from time to time. And I mean, I personally could never be with someone that is as smart as a box of rocks. And Dwayne, I know you feel the exact same way.
God, yes. Well, when I was dating, I mean, just the complete, just nothing behind the 20 pounds of makeup. And they all wanted to, you know, go to bed immediately on the first date. And I'm like, oh, let's talk about something, current events, the 3 things you're never supposed to talk about, whatever you want to talk about. I want to get to know who you are and see if there's something behind the eyes, I like to say. And so many people, both sides, I didn't date both sides, but you know, conversation I've had with both sides, there's nothing there, and you can't have any kind of relationship, romantic or otherwise, with someone that they're not, and it's not, I want to say intelligence, but or even a willing to learn, or I don't know really what that, but talking about the dating, or you know, I'll just pick on women. If you offer nothing but 30 seconds of bedroom fun, that's going to get old quick. And guys, I don't know, at least the men I know, crave something more than that. And it doesn't have to be, you don't need to be an intellectual professor or something. The desire to learn, you know, because I do enjoy teaching. And the things that we talk about, she's like, I didn't know about that. Let's talk about that. And she brings her balance. And that's the other thing too, that where we complement each other is, you know, I approach things and think about stuff from a guy's point of view. She thinks about it from the girl's point of view, but she's smart enough to hang in the conversation and go, well, have you thought about this? And I'll say, oh, I didn't. Or, well, actually this. And she's like, oh, I understand. And then we continue the conversation and we talk about all kinds of stuff. I mean, again, she's not a nerd. I am. We obviously, some of our conversations revolve around, nerd stuff. And she hangs with me through it. I don't know how sometimes, because some of it does get boring, but having that other person, being able to have a conversation with them, like when you ask them, well, retirement, again, I'm 51, so that's on my mind a little bit more now than it used to be. What are your thoughts? And their response is, I don't know. You want to build a future with that person?
It'd be hard to.
Yeah, or they can't rub two nickels together. And they have no clue how that part works. Or as a guy, I could not be, and I wasn't, but I could not be around that kind of person. The dumb just got too dumb. I just it. Sorry. Yeah. And when I talk to people nowadays, I mean, people, it doesn't necessarily, read a book a month on anything. Keep your brain going. Again, in your 20s, girls, you can get any guy you want to. As time goes on, that does change. And even then, that you should be learning. And you've got X amount of years on this planet. Learn something. Be able to communicate and talk, and stimulate his. Oh God, my wife. We'll sit there and have a stimulating conversation in every sense of the word. And it's I love her more. I love her more and more because she can have the other side of that conversation. She's her passions that she has for nonprofits and doing that, and she has that passion. She brings the parts to me that I'm good at, project management, technical, and all that. But we can converse and communicate, and it makes the relationship that much more awesomer. I know I talked about education, then I just said that, but it's more awesomer. But having that person that you can communicate with, there's nothing like it. I've been married a couple times. I've dated. Around.
You should know.
I should know a thing or two about a thing or two. And when they can't even come to the table with anything, it's just not worth it.
Anything but looks. Yeah.
Anything but and the thing is also with the looks, they're so narcissistic, have those tendencies that they think that that's all they have to bring.
Right.
They're like, oh, well, I'm pretty. That's it.
Right. But
then they want to be valued for more than their looks.
So you'll say, hey, what do you bring to the table? And they'll reply, I am the table. I've heard that. I've heard that before. Yeah. I think a lot of us agree, because I know that 98% of everyone who listens to the Big Show podcast is above the average on intellect anyhow. So everyone listening is above the bell curve on intellect. So we all agree, right? Yeah. But guys, don't forget to push the like button. I know some of you guys are on YouTube watching right now. It looks like a whole lot of you guys are on Facebook. Hit that like button for us, and also push the subscribe button. That way, whenever Dwayne and Eric or other guests that we have on the show on Dad Talk Today, whenever we go live, you guys will be notified. Also, I have the Big Show Facebook account. I've got Big Show Instagram, also on Twitter. I am the first person to say I don't do a lot of posting. I needed to get better at that. But if you don't mind, go over there and follow or like or whatever you guys do on those platforms. It's just type in the Big Show and if you guys want to support. If you guys don't mind supporting my page, I'd appreciate that. And maybe one day I'll get my lazy butt off and start posting some cool stuff on it. Okay, so the next one. So this one does get talked about at the campfire amongst men. This one I have heard gripes, and I've given the gripe too. And here's what it is: letting his decisions be final. Because they guys will say, hey, I'm expected to lead. Women will say, I need a man to lead. He has to be this good in order to lead me, whatever. Awesome. But you have to let his decisions be final. Otherwise, all you're doing is you've got this family, ladies, that you have put together, and you are choosing this man to lead your family. So that's like hiring a CEO and telling him that he's responsible for every bad thing that happens to the company, but you call the shots, but he has to bear the responsibility. It doesn't work that way. if you're gonna let the man lead, then let him lead. Okay. One guy said,
huh? A little something. And this is doubly true in blended families, and we all know who we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, in a normal, or I say normal, it's not even normal anymore. But in the traditional man, woman, they're natural children. They're that's a big one in blended families. That's why it's so important to pick the right person on either side, whoever we're talking about here. That if you guys blend your families together, he is the leader of the family. You guys should hopefully have communicated well enough over the years to where you're able to make decisions and talk about stuff and the back and forth. But his decision's final. That's the way it's set up. And dude, for the love of God, do not usurp his authority. You want to piss a guy? Oh, I'm gonna get ready to go off on a tangent here. Yeah. Stop me. But if you want to usurp his authority and go around him and have little side things with your biological children and do shit like that, just feel the anger right now.
Oh, yeah.
You will screw that relationship up 11 times out of 10 every time. You want to F your entire relationship up, that's how you do it right there.
Yep, that is very, very true. One guy, when it came to, decisions being final, one guy had said that he feels like there's too many times when I get asked this or this. And then when I choose my decision, she'll make a case about how the other option is better because either she likes or wants it more, or I feel like it's because it'll be easier for her in the moment. Like
she's trying.
Yeah,
it's almost like she's trying, which then goes back to the whole peace in the house. Like there is a little bit of spaghetti there, and how they'll just works there. But yeah, when you pick this or that, and then he's like, all right, well, pick this. Well, why'd you? No, no.
Let his decision be final. Or if there's A, option B, instead of saying, honey, which one do you think is best? And he goes, I think A should be best. But you always really wanted option B. And then you go, yeah, but option B should, blah, 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 blah. Instead of doing that, why don't you just say, listen, here's two options. And I actually wouldn't mind doing option B. Just come out and just say that. Yeah. Just come out and say that. And then he'll be like, okay.
Games.
Yeah. Don't do the whole, I pick one and then I want him to feel like he's a leader, but he really isn't leader if you just negate everything that he says. Another guy right here said it's mostly with small things like her asking me what outfit she should wear. If I want to move the TV to the bedroom, or what I want to eat for breakfast or lunch or dinner. But when it comes to finances or anything real, it can become an issue of why even ask me in the first place. I gave an answer and I pleaded my case. And it's like, at that point, just go ahead and do what you will. This guy right here is a perfect example of a man who's just frustrated. If you already made your mind up, then don't even ask me what I want, because just go ahead and do what you will, because you're probably going to do it anyhow. This right there is a perfect example. Another guy said, there's nothing more frustrating than being a man and expecting to lead the household, yet unable to make any decisions. Being with a woman that argues every decision you make or questions everything you decide on is exhausting.
Yeah. And you're going to get the D-jerk, because again, this is the world we live in, from the ladies, going, well, all the neck jerking thing. This is when we talk about when men are the final sayers, and this is that whole pick wisely. But I offer the analogy or the thing where the guy and girl, they have kids, whatever, they come home. And he says, hey, honey, I just got a crazy job offer in California. And let's just ignore California for a second. But California, they're wanting to pay me $1 million a year. All of our finances are taken care of, yada, 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 yada. And, what are your thoughts? And he's not making the decision unilaterally. He is inviting her to talk about it and figure out. But he has to make the ultimate decision. And she's like, well, my bridge club's here. Or, not good reasons for not moving. I mean, nothing that's like, hey, look, uncle or my, close family is getting ready to pass away, and there's just we'll never see him again, whatever. Nothing dumb. I say dumb. Nothing like that, but just my bridge club, or the quick trip that I go to get my drink every day is right down the street, and I don't know if I can do that at this new place or whatever. Yeah. And that's when I'm saying the man makes the final decision. Men make decisions for the good of the family. That's I mean, we make lots of decisions that aren't good for themselves because, again, usually men, well, I say usually men we make our decisions because we're always playing chess and we're always making sure that the family is going to be protected and thrive and all that down the road. And that could mean that, he's going to have to work 80 hours a week and whatever else, but he's willing to do it. Yep. If the woman gives not good enough reasons, the man makes a final decision and says, hey, we're moving to California. That's the decision. I, as the man, made that final decision. That's when we talk about man making the decision in the family. That's what I'm talking about. And I think we've talked about this in the past. That's when men make decisions. That's what we're talking about. Not, should I get 2% milk or should I get whole milk?
Right. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Well said. The next one is no surprise. Dwayne and I have talked about this on multiple podcasts. What men want from their partner is honesty. We've heard that one a lot, right?
Yeah. Not be truth telling impaired.
Yeah. Guys have complained about her lying about small things or exaggerates about everything. One guy says she's always the victim, and whenever she tells stories of what happens, she's the poor innocent one that was taken advantage of. All those are lies. They're not full 100% lies, but they're little small lies. Right. You're manipulating history. You're altering the all truth, and guys are going to pick up on that.
First wife.
Yeah, I mean, both men and women want this one. This is an obvious one, but honesty is one of them. The next one is guys have asked for equality. Equality. One guy said that if I need something from her, it's at her leisure. But if she needs something from me, it's at her convenience and not mine. I'm supposed to just rush to do what she wants. And if I ask her something, it's whatever she feels like it.
Right.
So, ladies, you have to understand that if you want equality, you're going to get it, but you can't have equality when it favors you, but want a traditional man whenever the check comes. Do you want equality, or do you? Because men are sick of that shit and they're on to the games, especially the men who are single out there now on that dating market. They're tired of the games. If women want equality, then you get the goods and the bads that come with it. You don't just get equality when it suits you. Right. So that is one thing that I've seen the dynamics of the dating market start to change here. And guys are really starting to finally give pushback over this last 10 to 15 years, where they're exposing the hypocrisy that women want, that women are saying when they say, I want equality. They only want equality when it favors them, but when the check arrives for the meal, they don't want equality then. They want traditional men there. You can't just pick and choose. And I think that's fair to ask, right? I got a couple more. The next one that I've heard guys say is, and we just talked about this about 10 minutes ago, is actually telling me what she wants when she wants it. So guys want you to, be direct with them. Yeah. And guys, we've talked about this many times before. Also, if you're a regular listener of the Big Show podcast, you've probably noticed this being a reoccurring gripe of men. I've talked about this many times. If you've noticed that this has been a reoccurring gripe of men, then let that be an indicator to how frustrating this is for most men. Mm-hmm. We are not mind readers. When men communicate with other men, we are direct and to the point, and as accurate as we can absolutely be. We don't require other men to guess what we're feeling or guess what's wrong with us.
Right.
Okay. We just go and do the logical thing and tell you what is wrong. Right. And I understand that women are a little more emotional driven and men are a little bit more logical driven, but I'm not saying just be stone cold Steve Austin in your communication. I want this. I want this. Well, I get it. You're not a robot. We don't want a robot, but we don't also want to play the I want to guess what's wrong with you and what's up your butt today game either. Well,
here's a real world example. Spouse comes home and the spouse says, my boss is being a jerk, blah, 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 blah. or I just, and the other one says, oh, well, and we're guessing who the roles here are. And the guy says, oh, well, just quit or tell him this or well, I just wanted you to listen to me.
Yeah.
Tell us that. Look, I'm pissed off about my day at work. I just want to vent to you. This means nothing. I don't want you to do anything, but I'm venting.
Yeah.
We'll go, all right. But when you give us a task or an issue, we're fixers, we're builders, we're fixers.
That's right.
We build shit. And when you come and tell us something, we're like, we want to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, ladies, honestly, for men, we have built and we maintain and we fix problems. We do all these things. That said, if you come to us with a problem, something that's, that is bothering you, that's hindering you, that's preventing you from happiness, what do you think our default's going to be?
Fix it.
Shoulder to cry on or figure out how to fix the problem?
Yeah. When you called me the other week, when you got your PC build and I think your video card or one of the RGB lights wasn't working, and you're like, hey, dude, how the hell do I fix this? I didn't go, well, tell me how you feel about that.
Right.
You're like, you were like, I need you to fix it. It was assumed, fix it. If you didn't call me saying, I just want to vent a little bit because I'm scared.
Yeah, and last week, if you guys caught the show last week, I was having some internet problems. The way that my house is kind of set up, I've got the router in the living room way over there, and it's in the entertainment system. That being said, I was kind of venting to Dwayne after the show, going, "Oh man, I was in and out of the show a few times. I got to figure out what's going on." Dwayne jumped right to fixing it because Dwayne is that kind of guy. I mean, he knows this stuff way more than I do. And I didn't turn right around and say, "Well, hold on, Dwayne. I don't actually want you to fix my internet problem. I just want you to I want to tell you how I feel about the internet problem." No. I wanted him to help me fix the damn thing. So, long story short, I got on Amazon. Dwayne even went as far as going, order this one right there.
That's how guys are.
Yeah.
Here's the link. Get that one, and all your problems will be fixed. Boom. It looks like it's working.
We troubleshooted the issues. We realized that my router's a little bit dated, and for what I need a better router. And he's already done the research. He's already done the reviews, and he literally shot me a link, and I said, click, 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 and it's going to be here probably tomorrow, Monday. So. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So the last one that I have here, and this is not going to be a surprise to any man either, because we've already alluded to it, is one thing that men say they want their partners to do is more sex and personal space or time. So sex and personal time. Men want those two things. We know this to be true. We've talked about this before. The amount of men.
If you're confused, we would not be able to help you.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys haven't gotten this by now, come on, you guys haven't been listening. The amount of men who tell me about their sexless relationships is baffling. One guy actually said, regarding sex, we now have to put it on the calendar, and it's usually once a month. Another guy said that
often?
Yeah. Another guy said that they were having sex all the time when they were dating, but now that they're married, he barely gets it, and he has to initiate it all the time.
Like wedding cake.
Huh?
It's like wedding cake. That's the anti-sex food there.
It must be. Yeah. For personal space and time, we've already talked about men kind of needing their space. Sometimes men just need some head space. We gotta sharpen the saw, especially after a bad day or a bad week. It's very frustrating.
We're going to sharpen the saw.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty frustrating when partners don't understand that. When women don't understand why men need a little space from time to time. Ladies, if your man wants his alone time to watch TV, play a video game, read a book, or just stare at the damn wall, let him have it. Just let him have it. It has nothing to do with you. He's not mad at you. Men need their alone time from time to time. Men need that time alone to decompress and analyze things. We do this for stress relief, or sometimes we do it just to strategize on how we're going to handle whatever issue they're going through. You know, I told a story a couple weeks back where there was a woman who was asking for some help because every night her man would go out and burn firewood. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he would sit out in the backyard by himself and he would just burn firewood. And I was like, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. As a matter of fact, the new neighborhood that I live in, right down the street, whenever I walk the dog or I'm out walking at nighttime or whatever, there are two guys on this block. It doesn't matter if it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock at night. They have their garage doors open and they have the whole entire garage looks like a man cave. Like they use it as a room and not for cars or storage. Right. And they have like jerseys hung up on the wall. This dude he has a lazy boy in his garage and he has 3 TV screens and he's got the baseball game on, this game on, that game on. And he's standing up. He's not even like sitting down. He's standing up with the remote in his hand, looking at the different channels and stuff. These guys are out there. First of all, I need to introduce those two guys because they're both doing the same thing. Right, they probably would become great friends. But that's an example of how men need their personal time, their personal space. That's how they decompress. That's how they kind of sharpen the saw. So ladies, it's not something that's against you. It's nothing you did wrong. It's just what guys do. Dwayne, what do you do for personal time? Is it video games?
Well, actually, either build websites or I'm involved in a number of nonprofits and other groups, and so I'll do that. I do 3D printing, resin printing. Actually, I got that up and running, so I'm doing that. But I think I've told the story. I'm not sure, but another thing where men get alone time. When Brittany and I started dating, this is obviously she wishes we could go back to a certain time, but she had the no fart rule. But remember one time I would and I'd leave the room, whenever the time hit me. Well, I don't know what it was, but she wanted to, be around me for some reason. And I left.
She was following you and talking to you, right? In the different rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
love that story.
Yeah. I get out to the garage and she's like, "What are you doing out here?" I'm like, "I'm trying to fart. Leave me alone." And she understood at that moment, but
she learned real quick, Yeah. That's
guys,
funny.
Yeah, we need alone time. We need other guy time, good time with guys, around good guys. But we need alone time to decompress and just kind of figure stuff out. I mean, the way my brain works is I'm doing about 7 different things at the same time in my head. So I've got actually 3 monitors and I got my work computers and I'm usually before the show I was updating this, doing that, getting a resin thing going. But that's how my brain works. But guys, we like our alone time. That's how we decompress and figure out how we're going to slay dragons the next day. That's it, what man. We do.
Well, folks, I really hope that you guys enjoy this episode of, what men want most from their partners. I hope that you guys take it as constructive criticism. Hope you guys are laughing alongside of Dwayne and I. We're always trying to make it entertaining, but also informative because we really do want you guys to win. We want you guys to be happy. I'd like to thank what's that?
Well, I wanted to, there was a comment made, and again, I just want to highlight here real quick. Kathleen here, important to mention, men should communicate when they need that time. I understand the sentiment. I saw that and I just wanted to comment. And again, it's not trying to throw heat or anything, but here's a great idea for what things men want most from their partner. Wouldn't it be awesome? And my wife does this. She goes, "Why don't you go F off for a couple hours and do your thing for a couple hours?" And that, I hate to say it, makes me happy because she values my time enough to where she can read me. She knows when I'm getting a little weird. And she's like, the guy needs an hour or 2 by himself. Why don't you go play video games? Haven't you called so-and-so and why don't you guys play some games or something? Yeah. I'll go do my thing. And I mean, at the end of the day, it may be because she's tired. She's sick and tired of being around me or she wants to do something on her own. I don't care. I just leave that to whatever. But, for the ladies, I would say, hey, maybe tell your guy, hey, you know what? Why don't you go, here's a coupon to the gun range or whatever you're into. And that shows you're thinking about them, you care about them, and you're like, and because guys, a lot of times we're like, we always have to be on because we're so, if we leave, we're almost made to feel guilty. It reminds me of my first marriage. God, a lot of the things you said that weren't happening were my first marriage. Hence, it was my first marriage. But you know, girls read, because when guys, I mean, we read women and we're like, hey, I know what would make you happy. Of course, we're fixers, we're doers, we're whatever. So we're going to say, oh, she'd like flowers, or she wants to have some girl time, or go to the spa, or go get her nails done, or whatever. And, we do that. We kind of want the same thing, honestly, because we feel, I don't know about, do you feel guilty when, if you're wanting alone time? Everyone should probably know that you need some alone time, but do you feel guilty for taking it?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, and I think Kathleen's got a fair point, though. I mean, yeah. we talked about today how to the women, we talked to the women and said, hey, ladies, we're not mind readers, be direct. I think what Kathleen's trying to say here is that women are not mind readers also. So, so, hey, if you guys need or want alone time, then open up your mouth, communicate, when you guys need that time. Because if she starts to kind of get off center a little bit, or starts to wonder if you're mad at her, or if it's something that she did wrong, you guys don't want her to think that. So to Kathleen's point, just kind of say, hey, hun, you probably notice I go out there at nighttime and I sit with the dog in the backyard. For what it's worth, I just want you to know it's not that I'm mad at you. It's not that I don't want to be around you. I just, sometimes I just want to stay off in this space and reflect about my day, reflect about life. I do a lot of like soul searching during that time. So I just want you to know, babe, that it's not because of you or anything you did wrong. So you probably already knew that, but in case you didn't, I just wanted to, be clear and kind of let you know. Good. So a fair point, Kathleen. I do appreciate the and Rebecca has one too. She says, I tell mine, it won't hurt my feelings if you want to go and do your thing. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback. Yeah. But for everybody else, I want to really thank you guys for tuning in for today's episode of The Big Show, hosted by myself, Jimmy Smith, on behalf of Dwayne Ward and myself. Thank you for tuning in. I thank you for all the feedback and the comments. We'll see you guys next Sunday here, same time, which is going to be 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys soon.